Welcome to The Balancing Act. I'm Olga Villaverdi.
And I'm Montel Williams. Well, today, we have a better way for you to pay your bills.
I need that. Plus, why 45 is the new 50 when it comes to colorectal cancer. Great information there.
Absolutely. And the folks from Family First Life are here to explain non-medical exam coverage. And it all starts right now.
Yeah, it's a packed show.
There you go. Look, colorectal cancer is the third most diagnosed cancer in the United States. It will take more lives than breast cancer and, get this, and prostate cancer.
I don't understand.
The good news is it's preventable.
Absolutely. So today, listen up. A guide to colorectal cancer, early prevention, and how a new technology is helping physicians detect the undetectable polyps. We'll start with gastroenterologist Dr. Douglas K. Rex. Take a look.
Colorectal cancer starts off as a growth that's on the inner lining of the colon that we call a polyp. And if that polyp gets big enough, it can turn into cancer, which means that it starts to grow into the wall. So if we can get in there and find the polyp and remove it before it turns into cancer, we can actually prevent the cancer from developing. So when we talk about symptoms in colon cancer, it's important to realize that the polyps that may eventually turn into cancer, they don't cause symptoms. Extremely rare for them to cause symptoms. Even early colon cancer may not cause symptoms. By the time symptoms have developed, a lot of times it's already spread, and it may in fact be too late. And this is the reason why we want to identify polyps and early cancers before they cause symptoms. Symptoms that are associated with colon cancer, the most important one is rectal bleeding, if you're seeing blood in the toilet bowl. But there can also be things like a change in your bowel habit or a change in the shape of the stool, the development of abdominal pain or weight loss. Unfortunately, again, many of those symptoms, especially the ones that don't involve bleeding, are often symptoms of later stages of colon cancer. So the most important risk factor for colorectal cancer is just age. As we get older, the risk gets greater. And currently, we think that beginning at age 45, everybody should get checked for colon cancer, even if they don't have any additional risk factors and even if they don't have any symptoms. But what are some things that add on to age as risk factors? A family history of colon cancer, especially in what we call a first-degree relative, a parent or a sibling, or if there are multiple second-degree relatives, grandparents, aunts, uncles, that also might be important. Then there are some lifestyle measures. They include not getting enough exercise, being overweight, cigarette smoking, alcohol to some extent, and then certain diseases. Probably the most important one is diabetes. When we talk about screening and trying to figure out how you're going to get it done, the biggest problem that we have in the U.S., and the reason we still have more than 50,000 people dying from colorectal cancer every year, is that about a third of the population that should be getting screened hasn't gotten any screening test done. The one that people hear the most about, and is still probably the most widely used screening test in the U.S., is colonoscopy. And colonoscopy is both the most effective, and because it's very good at finding polyps, it's the only one that's recommended at 10-year intervals. Colonoscopy is kind of the final common pathway of all routes towards screening, diagnosis of polyps, diagnosis of cancer, prevention of colon cancer. It ultimately all goes through colonoscopy.
What great information,
Wow.
Montel.
Crazy.
We're going to hear from Dr. Rex a little bit later, but first, we're joined by Brooks Bell, who was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer at the age of 38. And coming to us remotely from D.C. is Michael Sapienza, CEO of the Colorectal Cancer Alliance. I want to welcome to both of you. Thank you so much for being here.
Brooks, let's start with you. I know that you're really passionate about cancer awareness, and you were recently elected to the board of directors for the Colorectal Cancer Alliance last year. Tell us a little bit about your journey.
Well, almost 3 years to the date, I was diagnosed with colon cancer, stage 3 at age 38. Wow. And then went on to do 6 months of chemo and surgeries. And then, thankfully, I was declared cancer-free.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Congrats.
I did a lot of research on colon cancer and I learned quite a bit. But most importantly, it is preventable. What prevents it is a colonoscopy. And now you can get them at age 45.
I got my colonoscopy and I didn't want to go and with COVID, but I went and they found 2 polyps in me. But you know, you never know what could have happened if I had not done it. Michael, let me bring you in. The goals I was reading here of the CCA are to screen, care, and cure. So let's talk about screening, since it is the #1 way to reduce the risk of this cancer, right?
Colon cancer is what we say the preventable cancer. My mom fortunately died on Mother's Day in 2009 at the age of 59, was diagnosed at 56, and she had never received her screening. She'd be alive today. She had it. You know, the Preventative Task Force actually just lowered the screening age from 50 to 45. So we're really excited about that, you know, but unfortunately, we're still seeing this huge disparity in African Americans. They have a 20% higher incidence rate and 40% higher mortality rate.
Well, that means that an additional 20 million people are now eligible for screening. So what is the Alliance doing to get the message out?
We've started this campaign called 45 is the new 50. You know, we are talking to insurance companies all across the country because they have until 2023 to actually cover it. So only about 50% of insurers are now covering at 45. So we have to do our jobs to advocate for people starting to get screened at 45.
I want to go back to Dr. Rex to learn more about the artificial intelligence device GI Genius. Listen.
When you're actually doing a colonoscopy and you're looking for polyps, one of the things that we have to be tuned into and to understand is that polyps come in all shapes and sizes, and some of them have a very subtle appearance, and they can actually appear on the TV screen and we might overlook them. So GI Genius is an artificial intelligence program, a software program that has been trained by looking at thousands of pictures and videos of polyps to recognize them. And it's like your assistant for finding polyps during colonoscopy. So when a polyp appears on the screen, we hear an audible ping and the device puts a green square or rectangle around the polyp and alerts us to that specific site to inspect it, interrogate it, determine if it's a polyp, and remove it. So it's like we have this constant helper for polyp detection. GI Genius helps the doctor find polyps, and therefore it's helpful to patients. The more polyps the doctor finds, the lower the risk that you're going to develop cancer before your next colonoscopy. I really like the GI Genius because the whole purpose of this examination is to prevent my patient from getting colon cancer. And so the more help I get in finding polyps, and I've had plenty of help, and I have a very high detection level to begin with, but there are times when it finds polyps that I would not otherwise see, and that's fabulous for my patient.
You've learned a lot as a cancer survivor. So what do you say to our viewers?
The absolutely most important thing that viewers take away from this is that this is something they can prevent on their own. They can do something about it. If I had waited another 6 months, my survival odds would have dropped 10 points, and it would have been a lot harder journey.
Michael, I'm going to turn to you quickly. Any final thoughts?
I just want to thank Medtronic and the innovation around GI Genius. It definitely will help save lives, so thank you very much.
Thank you both for helping to spread and make awareness and get awareness out there of the importance of colorectal cancer screening. Really, thank you.
Michael, thank you and good luck to you. Appreciate your time and thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you.
And if you want information on any of this, GI Genius, you can visit medtronic.com, or for colorectal cancer support and resources, and there are so many, visit ccalliance.org or just check out our website. Super easy, thebalancingact.com.
Well, welcome back. You know, bills. Everybody has to pay them. In fact, Americans pay between 8 and 15 bills per month, and 75% of those bills are paid directly through the biller's website. And this tends to be expensive, time-consuming, and error-prone. While consumers have been paying bills for centuries, they might not necessarily realize that the process could be much simpler. It's not their fault, really, because until now, they really didn't have another solution. And here to explain is Mr. Paul Kesawani, founder and CEO of Cushion. Thanks so much for being a part of the show today, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, my friend. Well, look, I read this, which is really kind of crazy, that around 140 million consumers struggle to pay their bills, incurring overdraft fees, late fees, and damaging their credit. And Paul, why are bills such an issue for consumers?
Yeah, so consumers juggle a dozen or so bills each month. They cost different amounts, they're due on different dates, which may not be aligned with when they get paid. And some require you to send a paper check, others let you use a debit card, some will charge you a fee for using a card. It's pretty complicated. And 90% of consumers are terrified of overdrafting their accounts. So instead of using autopay, they're making these payments one at a time, which makes it far more likely for them to get hit with all kinds of penalties. And this broken system is costing the American household well over $500 each year on bill pay related penalties like late fees. And what most people don't realize is the world of bills is changing. Subscriptions weren't a thing a decade ago. Now we've fully embraced them. And buy now, pay later wasn't a thing a few years ago. And now most people have to bake those into their monthly expenses. And there's going to be something new tomorrow. So the world of bills is complex, it's evolving, but the tools to manage and pay those bills have not kept up.
So your mission is to help change the mindset to make sure that consumers never miss a bill payment, right?
Yeah, so today consumers associate bills with stress. They're my bills. I have to track them, I have to manage them, I have to make sure they're paid on time. And if I make a mistake, then there are real consequences. No one wants their car insurance or their phone plan shut off. No one wants to pay late fees. But these are the things that can and do happen when you make these mistakes. So when you factor in how much work it is to manage these bills and the amount of stress involved, that's a lot for one person to take on. So at Cushion, what we've done is we've created this single place to track, manage, and pay your bills. We give you the cash you need to make these payments. We make sure that you're paying these bills on time, so you avoid these late fees and overdraft fees. We help you build your credit just by making mundane payments like your utility bills. And so our customers finally feel like there's someone in their corner relieving that stress and making sure they never miss a bill payment ever again.
It seems crazy. Like, why has no one ever taken this on before? I mean, why is this a good time for a Cushion?
So convincing someone to change the way they pay their bills is no small feat and requires two main things. The first is trust. We spent years building this trust with our customers with our first product. We had built an offering that would negotiate your bank fees for you and get you that money back. And after refunding $13 million to our customers, the question changed from how can you help me get this money back to how can I avoid these fees entirely? And we did our research and it became clear that bills were the problem and the way that people pay those bills had to be the solution. We needed a better way. And so that brings me to the second point, which is you need to offer a game-changing experience if you expect people to change their habits and the way they do things. A perfect example of that is Uber. We used to chase down, taxis in the rain trying to get a cab, and then all of a sudden you click one button, a car shows up at your front door. It's as easy as that. And that's the level of experience we're trying to bring to the consumer with bill pay. One place to pay all of your bills on time, automatically, and we want people to never go back to the old way of doing things after they experience this. It's for those two reasons, earning consumer trust and offering them game-changing experience, that Cushion is the future of bill pay.
And who could benefit the most by utilizing Cushion?
Well, honestly, we built Cushion so that anybody can use it to manage and pay their bills, but we've realized that the folks who get the most out of it are those that are actively trying to improve the way they manage their money. These are folks who want to get a grasp of their bills, their finances, and do not want to pay bank fees ever again.
If our viewers needed more information, where do they go?
The best place to go is cushion.ai, our website.
Well, and of course, that you can always go up on our website, thebalancingact.com, for more info. Thanks so much, sir, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And we'll be back right after this.
Today, we're continuing our series on insurance with our partners at Family First Life, Alondra Topete and Josh Crenshaw. They're here to help us when it comes to understand just what a non-medical policy means. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you for having us on.
Before we talk about non-medical policy, let's first talk about just Family First in general. Tell me about it.
Yeah, our mission at Family First Life is to put the families of our clients first, as well as the agents' families in the best position possible.
And I think that's important, especially to build that trust. Would you agree?
Yeah, you want to know that the families that we meet with are getting the best product, and we also, as an agent, want to know we represent the best companies as well.
Alondra, how is it different from other insurance companies? Because there's just so many.
There are. I think what makes us different is our agents are always trying to put the best plan possible for the client. So we're able to really dive into our products to find the right product for that specific client that's going to fit their needs and their budget to give them a peace of mind that they need at the end of the day.
There must be apprehension when you meet with your clients because, I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's a sales pitch, right? Even though you guys do it differently. What are some misconceptions, would you say, Josh, that we should clarify?
Yeah, sometimes the clients that we meet with think that this is a long, drawn-out process, that we won't know if they get approved or the budget's going to be way out of their price range, and we're able to, find something within their budget within the first meeting.
Any other misconceptions?
Yeah, just letting them know that there are no costs for us to be there. All they're paying for is a product in itself. Another big one is that the term policies, people think that they have to pay something forever, and then that at the end of the day it expires and then all that money went to waste.
Isn't that the case?
Not necessarily. We have products that allow them to really protect them while the length of the term, and if they did not pass away or use their benefits, they're going to get all that money back. So it all comes right back to them.
Oh, that's fantastic. I didn't even know that. There's a term non-medical. Can we dive into that?
Yeah, so the old school insurance, you had to do the bloods and you go see the doctor to see if we can get you an approval. Now the carriers just look at what's called your MIB, and they're able to really see what's on your prescriptions to get you approved or not.
So there's no poking, there's no blood pressure machine, there's no anxiety built up?
No, it's super easy. It's about 15, 20 minutes that you're able to tell the client, hey, you're approved, or hey, we're going to go to a different product that's going to find the best fit, all approved in the home for our clients.
And Josh, you've been doing this for a while. I'm sure when you finally are able to help the families, they must be very grateful, and it must make you feel good as well because you've done a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I tell the clients that we meet with, we're stuck with you and you're stuck with us. And we want to be there for them on their worst day.
And it's only a one-time thing. One and done, you put it in the drawer and peace of mind.
Peace of mind, you don't have to worry about it, but you know that, God forbid, if anything happened to you, your family's going to be protected, and that's what's important at the end of the day.
Josh, for our viewers who'd like more information, where can they go?
FamilyFirstLife.com. All questions on non-medical products, they can find the information there.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
And if you'd like more information, go to our website, thebalancingact.com.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today.
Remember to head to our Facebook page, like us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, and visit thebalancingact.com to enter our latest sweepstake or giveaway.
And of course, you know what you got to do. You got to stay safe. Love that family of yours. We'll see you next time.